All right, guys, Patrick at Art Storefronts back with another customer interview, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have Art Storefronts customer and friend John Lowry of Humble Donkey Studio. And John, welcome, and thanks for joining me.
I'm glad to be here and just taking you to the scenery. You're in Round Top, Texas. I'm located in a place called Hinkle Square Market. People are just now getting open. This is the front of our building. As you can see, it's an old pole barn from the 1800s.
No
I'll show
way.
you going inside what we've got. Maybe just to give context, I'll start off with just a little bit of a tour. So, where Art Storefronts plays a huge role, and I can get into all of the aspects of it, this main part of the studio, you can see it's got high ceilings. We do sell primarily my art, but we also have jewelry and apparel and home goods. But if you see on the walls, everything you're seeing here are jaclés. These are jaclés that we get through Bay Photo, through, of course, Art Storefronts.
Did you already sell the originals, John?
Well, I'm going to show you where the originals are. This is a very important product because these are what we call mini Gs. All they are jaclés on canvas, but it's a great way to sell a smaller version. We also sell sign prints. This has nothing to do with Bay Photo. But this is a lot of this stuff was started when I started this, but all of this product comes from Bay. All of these are all fine art paper jaclés. Well, here's an example. This one dancing. We've got some that are framed and matted, and I'll go upstairs later. But this is the part here. This is the gallery where I sell my originals.
Wow.
And I currently only have 10 originals that are available. So you'll run across every now and then where there's a red dot. That means it's sold. But I predominantly frame all of my originals. This is quite a large one here. So I have this fun back entrance. This goes into another courtyard area, Kemosabe, which is well known, the barbecue joint and a bar. I've got a quote here in the entry. This happens to be kind of a hybrid between an original and a jaclé. This is an embellished jaclé. It's one of my most popular pieces, and you can probably see the texture where I've come in and embellished.
Yeah,
and then this is a blank wall where normally there'd be art, but I take out the lighting and it just kind of blends in. Same thing with this wall, but we've got a seating area. And then this is an important room that we added. I don't know how well this is coming across, but this is, again, jaclé storage. So we have a lot of product that's in back storage. And I'll share anything with anyone in the audience that wants to know how we do things. I'll go ahead and take you upstairs. This is another product. We sell a shocking amount of coasters and magnets with my art. I can get into some of those numbers, and I have shared those in the past with the Small Wins audience. Frame jaclés as you go up the stairs. This barn is built in the 1800s. It is quirky at best. It is a pain in the ass in other ways. I have created a lot of product. Some of these patches are based on paintings I've done, and we sell them as loose patches, but we also sell them on hats, and I've done other graphics. So, like, this is an Art Storefronts product. This comes from Guten. We sell the T-shirts with art. This is more general apparel. I've got all sorts of T-shirt designs, but a lot of them come from Guten, others from other vendors.
Yep.
And then we've got home goods and other fun stuff. But this is pretty cool to see the view. I mean, it's a weird building, but it kind of creates some neat shapes.
No, it's amazing that just the
got a wall
footprint,
here,
the 2 stories. Yeah, incredible.
And then this is where we predominantly have stuff for kids, but it also incorporates jaclés. I've got a blank wall over there, gonna fill. So that's the tour of the place.
Absolutely amazing. And we should say that we're starting this interview off with John giving us a tour of his retail shop, which is in Round Rock, Texas.
Round
and
top, round top,
round
very
top.
important. There is a
Oh,
round rock, but round rock's big. Round top only has 87 people in its population.
oh, wow, tiny.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I wanted to like deeply unpack with you, because I'm just mega fascinated about it in this particular moment in time, is this notion of, you know, uh, I've never been anti-gallery. I've never been anti-revenue source. But, the gallery model is, the 50-50 split, not knowing who's purchasing. I love the artist owned gallery. And I think these are like, it's a thing now. It's becoming more and more prominent. You're seeing more and more artists do it. And like, we're getting the numbers, and the numbers on it are incredible. But let me tell you, it is not a bed of roses, because, as John will tell you, he's the only employee in here today. And if somebody comes walking through the door, he's going to have to go to work. How long have you had the gallery?
So I started it in March of 2016.
Okay.
And that was followed from the fact that I kind of had a little bit of a hard time getting my work into some of the galleries here in Round Top. And Round Top is located between Austin and Houston, really smack in
Okay.
the middle.
Okay.
And my wife and I had bought land out near here, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how I got back into painting. I was a commercial illustrator for many years, and so I was a professional artist for many years, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
gotten to where I'd stopped painting. And I was walking around in Round Top, and I saw these little log cabins. In fact, I could take you back outside and show you the one I originally rented. I was walking by. This one was available, $750 a month. I had no idea if anybody would like my art at all.
$750 a month too. What a
That,
great rate.
yeah, a great rate. And of course, that cabin was only maybe 400 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in there for about a year, and it did really well, and people liked my art. So then I saw this barn come available, and at that time it was probably only about 1,500 square feet, and they were probably charging, I'm going to say 15 or 1,600 a month.
That
We
is
since
such a
expanded it
smoke
by another
show deal.
1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
We've constantly remodeled in here. Now, at the time, this is before I knew anything about art storefronts, because art storefronts contacted me. It was a sales call.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to other local vendors to get Jaclays to have for sale
Mm-hmm.
in the store. And it was 2017, got the call about art storefronts. And we were like, let's go for it. We did the full enchilada, whatever the total full price was at the time,
Mm-hmm.
built the website. And there were a couple of reasons why it made sense. For one, fulfillment for your own store by having the interface, which I know people get confused, but this is licensing of software. We're doing is licensing software from art storefronts, and they've got the playbooks and all sorts of other things. But that ability to be able to, if you were to try to create a website yourself that does what art storefronts cost, I mean, it'll cost you maybe as much as $100,000 by using programmers. It's very expensive to do what
Yeah.
they already did. They did the work. In my other life, I do own a marketing and branding firm that's in Houston. I started that, by the way. Both these businesses started on shoestrings. I started that other business when I was 23. It's going to be 34 years old this year.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I have a big staff there, and they've been there for a long time. And when I got into this crazy idea of wanting to be a painter, uh, they took over. And but so I've been in the business of building dynamic websites as part of, so I've got web developers and designers and writers. So I know firsthand, because we created many e-commerce sites. I know firsthand how much work goes into creating what Art Storefronts has done for us as artists. So I jumped on it knowing this is brilliant. The immediate benefit for us was it sure made it a lot easier to use that interface to order product for our own store.
Yeah.
And this is what I know. Sometimes you may hear comments, well, it's not fair to have your own gallery. Well, there's nothing fair about it. And there was nothing cheap about it. And there was, and again, I just started with a shoestring with just a hope that people would like it. But to constantly put money and invest into your business, and the fact that I'm here today instead of at home painting, you have to make sacrifices along the way.
Yeah.
But that interface allowed us to keep product in the store. And I've shared numbers. If anybody is a member of Small Wins, I, at the end of every year, publish how much I've done in Giclées. So
Mhm.
we have the blend of what we sell in the store. People can grab and go.
Mhm.
People are in the store, and I'll show you this. We've set up, it's usually the art storefronts website is displayed here. So when
Mhm.
people come in and they go, well, I don't see in your store exactly what I want, we can take them over to here and we go on the art storefronts website and show them sizes and how it could look on a wall and go through, and then we'll create a custom order for them. And it's actually paid for in the store, but then my wife Laurie goes home and places the order with art storefronts, and
Mhm.
it gets shipped directly to the customer. And
Such
then
a
the
great
other
model.
thing that we do, which everybody does, of course, is we sell directly online. And those are yesterday. I get an email, and somebody has done a $600 order of one of my images as
Mhm.
a canvas. That is really fun to me. That somebody has gone online, found the art, bought it. I never touch it. I mean, what Art Storefronts does is just brilliant for us, that we have a revenue stream and we don't have to do much. Now, how those people found me, I do have the advantage that I know a lot of people come to Round Top, believe it or not, this tiny little town, see the stuff, and then later go home and decide, oh, I really like that guy's art. In fact, we created a brochure that when people, let me see if I can show you this. When people come into our store and we tell them you can order this online, we have all the instructions of, the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to get in there.
Yeah.
Pick the media type, pick the size, pick the finishing, frame or not frame. We even talk about if you want other product, if you want, a T-shirt or a phone case, how to do that. But we create this because everything is about how you make it easier for a customer to buy your artwork.
Always. Yeah.
And so we are now approaching in pure online sales $100,000 since we started with art storefronts. But I mean, I've got to add it up. I know we're in the well over $1 million in Giclées that we've sold, but I don't exactly know what that number is because, um, this year. Well, I could look. I don't want to mess things up. I'm not a technology guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how important that is to people, but um, we sell a lot of Giclées and we sell a lot of other things that are art related products with coasters and then the prints that we do. Anyway, I've been babbling. I probably should take questions from you so that you can help me lead me down a path instead of me just
Yeah,
rambling.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the whole entire setup. I'm amazed at how reasonable the rent is. Is Round Top sort of a tourist stop in a kind of like a fun little weekend type of a destination?
Yes, it is. So really where it got well known was from two reasons. One, they have the festival is a big music venue, and this is like chamber music, violins and stuff I honestly don't really listen to. They have an incredible music venue that's like shockingly, why is it here in this town?
Hmm.
I think Ima Hogg, who was the daughter of a famous Texas governor, she was a big part in bringing that here. The other reason why it became popular out here is they started an antique fair
Hmm.
that has grown to where it's twice a year, predominantly March and then in October. And this is where tents and a lot of temporary businesses set up and people bring in antiques and sell them. When in 2016, there were only a handful of year round businesses here. There were a few galleries, all of
Hmm.
which rejected me, all of which are no longer here anymore, I must add. Um,
Yep. Mic dropped.
Funny thing, mic drop. Whoop.
Yep.
But we created something that was. We have a very fun environment. We always offer free beer and wine to guests, but we are year round. And over time, we've now got, gosh, I want to say 9 or 10 restaurants, 4 or 5 really great bars, and now probably close to 50 year round retail shops. So we'd love to have more artists here. There's only one other real gallery here, and they sell lots of different, multiple artists in their gallery, and it's a beautiful gallery. I love the space, but it's always helpful. I mean, I wish there were 10 art galleries here. And I know some people go, well, wouldn't that be competition for you? What you want is when you have to drive an hour and a half from either Houston or Austin, further from other cities, to come here. If people are real art buyers, they want to know that there's going to be multiple places for them to shop. What we get oftentimes are the accidental art buyers. They come to Round Top, don't even know why. Um, and yes, it's a great weekend place because we have some of the best lodging. We've got boutique hotels. I highly recommend coming just because it's a cool place to be. And we have great stars because we don't have any city lights near us. I think the closest big town would be either Brenham on one end, and on the other end would be LaGrange, but they're both,
Okay.
good 20, 25 miles or so from Round Top. But people come in here, and I've always said maybe only 10% of people really care about art. I don't know this statistically, but you can see that people wander around, and there are a lot of people that walk through the gallery and don't even look at the art. They could care less. That's why we have so many other things, apparel and
Yeah.
home goods. But it's the fun ones for me are the ones that go, I didn't know I was going to buy art, and they come in here and buy art. And the great thing about the originals certainly cost more, and there are people that are first time buyers of originals.
What's your range on your originals? Just out of curiosity,
So
when they start at?
they run usually anywhere from $2 to $4 a square inch. Kind of, it's just based on my mood, but I mean, I can show you some examples of things like this bison, which is sold. That's a 36 by 48, and it sold for $4,500.
Mm-hmm.
But $4,500 to a lot of people might be like a fortune. And
Yeah.
so we do sell Jaclays of it. In fact, I know we just had a special order that somebody just did, and I know it's already been shipped out by Bay Photo of that piece. And it just so happens that buyer hasn't taken it home yet because they're building a home. But it's these people that come in here. We sell what we call the mini G's, and I'm going to show you. We sign them on the side, or I sign them on the side. I don't know if you can see that. My camera.
Oh yeah, we can see it.
Shoddy. We sell these for $125 each, and I think our cost shipped is probably around $40 from Bay Photo.
Okay.
And gosh, I wish I had the memory. I should have written some of this down. But I mean, we probably sold close to $50,000 worth of that product just last year.
Amazing.
So it's one thing I may sell. Last year, I did about $100,000 in originals. Okay, and that sounds like a great number, but with the reproductions, we probably did another $200,000 in total. So the act of painting, doing a painting, and selling a painting is great. But what's more exciting, and I'll show you one example. This particular piece I did in 2018. It was a small original. It was 24 by 20.
Okay.
It's up there. It's called Lend Me Your Ear. I have here a Jaclay that is, this is a 48 by 40 frame Jaclay that we have priced for $1,250. This particular image, the original was about $1,400.
Mm-hmm.
I sold that original for $1,500, but I've done probably, I bet, close to $60,000 in reproductions of that one image.
Nothing better than that. That's the dream.
Yeah, and I will say this: one of the critical things that any artist that wants to sell Jaclays must do is you've got to get a good scan of your art. So, like, I'm going to show you a Jaclay. This is a Jaclay of a multimedia piece I did of crawfish, and I had cut up old books. I mean, you can see the detail is
Oh, I
there.
love it. I love a crawfish boil.
So I take my pieces to a place in Houston that scans them,
Mm-hmm.
and that scan probably costs $250.
Mm-hmm.
But to make a great reproduction, you've got to start off with something great. And I hear that people are trying to take pictures of their work with their iPhones or God knows what. Here's the original of that same piece. The lighting is a little bit more harsh in here when you're over the phone, but
Mm-hmm.
all of that detail that you saw in the Giclée and the color accuracy and the texture, it is all there in the Giclées. And
Yeah,
so it looks just like the original. So when I sell that original, that's great. But it's the fact that I can sell infinitely the infinite number of that piece in the future now, and any
exactly.
shape or size. You know,
In
all
perpetuity.
these products. The look at the acrylic trays. People love these things.
Yeah, they're great.
So that acrylic tray or the coffee mugs, you know, we sell these in the store of my art. Um, you know, it's so exciting that, in fact, that new product that we're gonna, I forget what it's called. So my wife, I'm fortunate. My wife, she's she runs our website for us,
Mhm.
and I know that there's new capability with being able to showcase that kind of product and be able to promote it on the Instagram. If Patrick, you could take a moment to explain what I'm horribly trying to explain better than
Yeah.
I.
Yeah, and that's not, and I don't even care about that because that's not the most interesting thing. I'm just fascinated by your story in the sense that you took the leap. You took the leap in a small town. One, that you're able to operate this gallery. People are going to cringe when you say this, but how many days a week are you open?
We're open Wednesday to Sunday, and I'm
Wednesday to
usually
Sunday.
just here on Saturday. So Wednesday's a short day. It's noon to 4. And in the beginning, I would work this store by myself, but over time, as it grew, I mean, I actually upstairs had a little place where I would paint during the day because many days in those early days, there'd be nobody in here. And of course, there's nobody in here right now because it's early, number one, and number two, it's raining outside and
Yeah,
it's all outdoor here. Um, but you know, to add employees and have them come in makes a huge difference because they can be in here. It'd shock you. There could be moments on a Saturday where you have 30 to 40 people in here, and
wow.
ideally you got to have 4 people in the store. You got to have 2 people at the checkout camera here, the checkout area,
Yeah,
ringing people up. My wife and I can, if people are looking at art, I can go over there and tell stories about it. You know, like somebody's going, "Oh, tell me about this piece. Oh, this is a jackalope I painted," and you know, kind of describe the things in it. Here's an owl, and you know, they like hearing the stories of why you painted something or how you came about painting
so
something.
important. The story is
And
so
so my
important.
wife and I can interact with customers while we have employees that are ringing things up, packaging stuff up. My wife and I can be, you know, running over here to do custom orders. It's difficult to do it when you're in here by yourself. I mean, not necessarily with this crowd, but because there's nobody here right now. But
Yeah.
on busy days, you got to do that.
Yeah, you know what I'm blown away by is like one of my long repeated mantras is that like everything that we're attempting to do online is just duplicate the ideal art buying experience offline, which you have here already. But I watch you walk through your entire product line up there, and it's like it is so apparent to me that being in a real world retail merchant has forced a level of sophistication in terms of lineup and pricing for you that's crazy. And all of that applies online too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Because people will come into the store and go, "Well, I wasn't really prepared to buy it." That's why we create that brochure. And of course, we hand out
mhm.
business cards, and they'll walk away and think about it. Or we also have a sign up in here for people to sign up for our newsletter. We do a monthly e-newsletter, but
Mhm,
also to sign up for our social media. So
mhm.
we're posting on our social media. And yes, it's a pain in the butt to keep up with it, but when you do it, you'll see a rise in your online sales because it's top of mind awareness.
Yeah.
People have to go, "Oh yeah, I saw that art and I can't forget it," and then they want to buy a piece where
Yeah.
they
What
come in the store.
there's a question for you. So
Yeah.
given the town is so small and somewhat, how small is the town again? Did you say?
Well, it's 87 people in population. It's
87
1 square
people.
mile. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only 1 square mile. So it's teeny tiny. And
Yeah.
we've been a big part. I was the president of the chamber. I've been a big part to promote, hey, you guys, don't come here just literally the antique show is about 3 weeks long. I'm like, we're more than just being here,
In one horse
six
town.
weeks out of the
Yeah.
year. we've got stuff to do year round. I'm a sponsor. We're doing a big event on June 8th. That's going to be right out my back door.
Hmm.
The event is basically, it's like a wedding reception, but nobody has to get married. We've got a band out of Austin called Satellite. We've got dinner created by Royers and the Truth Barbecue people here. It's called Merit Meat Company. We've got Ellis Motel, the bar there. They'll be supplying the drinks. Kimasabi, which is they're based in Aspen, but they are luxury Western goods.
Hmm.
We're selling tickets for $100 a person, where you get the dinner, the dancing, drinks. I mean, it's a hell of a deal, but it helps promote people coming to town. And when you have an evening event like that, people will book lodging, so it's good for the lodging crowd. And when they're here, they're going to shop, they're going to
Yeah.
dine, they're going to drink, and that's how what we've done to kind of create an environment where we get people to come to town to see my art, to buy my art. And let it go from there. Um, I, I am such a strong advocate for art storefronts. Patrick can tell you, I don't own anything in art storefronts. I pay my money just like everybody else to be part of art storefronts. But I see it as such an incredible tool that without it, I would not be selling the amount of art I sell. I mean, just I've done it the other way where I've tried to self fulfill, and it just doesn't work the same. And I would never be able to sell online in the way that I can with art storefronts. And to be able to have that option of, hey, look, I know you can't afford this $5,000 painting, but I can sell you an identical version of it framed for a fraction of the cost. And
Love it.
you know um and we make great money at it. It is, yes, I am fortunate, 100% fortunate, but it's not like I'm a trust fund baby, and or I was picked up by some fancy gallery in New York and became famous. It's just grit. I just decided to open it and just do it, and I have to paint every day, and I work hard every day, but it's fulfilling, and taking advantage of the technology that art storefronts is invested in and gone out and sold. I think I try not to get preachy when I'm in the forums, but I think a lot of times people take for granted how much work is involved. And I do still own another business, so I'm quite a busy person.
Yeah.
But I've long believed, I've been self-employed. I'm employed since I was 23. And when you start any business, it's just like marriage. It's about failure happens when you give up, period.
That's
And
it.
when you stop working at it.
Yeah.
So you got to keep working at it. If you want to see this kind of success, be prepared to work your butt off on it. Anybody in the arts, whether you see singers or band people in bands or writers, it's not the end of the journey. Isn't even success, because I could say, well, I've done it, I'm successful, but you have to keep at it to stay successful. It
100%.
won't keep coming to you.
You
And I
you
can
are you are taking the words out of my mouth in every capacity imaginable, right? The consistency, the grind, how hard it is, the fact that it never stops, the fact that you can never quit. But ultimately, the number one thing that kills artists and photographers from realizing their dream is they just quit doing the grinding. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
And I tell you, you won't have that feeling of satisfaction. I shared this with the art storefronts community, that um, a restaurant came in. Now they're part of, it's a restaurant in a hotel in College Station, Texas A&M Hotel and Conference Center. They had revamped their restaurant, and it's a beautiful place, and they wanted my art in there. And originally we were considering just originals, but number one, they weren't big enough,
Mhm.
the ones they liked, or I had sold many of the originals that they liked. So they did an order of it was a $20,000 order. I gave them 20% off.
Mhm.
Um, and now they've hung those in the restaurant, and now they're looking at possibly another $14,000 worth to add into the hotel of more of that artwork. And then the other side is they have a gift shop, and I'm going to take some of those little miniature canvases like I was showing earlier,
Mhm.
these that are on the wall, of the images that they have hanging. I'm going to take an example of each one of those miniature clays, and say, hey, why don't you sell these in your gift shop? And I
Yep.
bet you they'll jump on it. I bet you
Yep.
anything they will jump on it, because people are going to sit in that restaurant, see those images, and and I'm very lucky because they want me to put a little placard with my name and business name with the artwork. That's going to
QR
spell
code,
more
QR code
attention.
too, hopefully.
Yeah. And it's all because I put my shingle out here, not knowing if anybody will like my artwork or not. Many people in your group have probably heard of Buc-ee's, the gas station.
Of course.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you have.
Of course. Been into
Same
several
thing. They
Buc-ee's.
came to Round Top about a year and a half ago and came in the gallery and said, "Hey, we really like your artwork. We'd like to sell it at Buc-ee's." And I was like, "You mean in the bathrooms?" I don't think so. They talked me into it, and so now I'm in. They have close to 40 stores. I'm all across the country, and they
Wow.
sell my artwork in the bathroom. Now, I only make 5% of those sales, and they're selling hundreds of Jaclays. So
Mhm.
I'm not making. My check this month was $400 from them. So it's not like I make a lot of money. But you know what else happens? I get
Repeat
people that call
business.
me. They say, "Hey, I
Yep.
saw your work at Buc-ee's." They find me. I saw your work at Buc-ee's, and then I direct them to my art storefront's website and go, "Hey, you can purchase online." They're like, "Awesome!" And then they see all the variety I have, because Buc-ee's only carries like 8 of my images.
Mhm.
And again, I that is luck. I mean, you to be successful in business, you have to have luck, but you're gonna have bad luck and good luck, and it's how you take advantage of the good luck. I think that makes all the difference. But
But
uh,
not all luck is the same either. People
no,
hear luck and they think dumb luck, right? Like you
yeah,
walk down to the roulette table and you put your money on black and boom, it hits
right,
black. And that's a type of luck. But there's also a luck that comes from residual grinding, right? From
yes,
doing the hard work. And that luck is far, far more impactful. I have 2 questions for you. One, I want to get
yeah.
it out now. Thank you for all the compliments on our storefronts. We love it. But if there's one thing that we can improve about art storefronts, just one thing, what would that one thing be?
That is a great question. I don't know if it's necessarily on your end or not, but there's some real inconsistencies in shipping costs. I think
Mhm.
everything when I order 20, you know, canvas chiclets, they group it together, send it out in one package. But
Mhm.
it's weird when you order a coffee mug, and I'm trying to order 40 coffee mugs for the store, and if they charge $5 for a coffee mug to ship it, that's 5 times 40. It makes no sense.
That
And
makes
I've
no sense.
talked to Aaron
Mhm.
about this. So there's some things. It's the same thing with T-shirts. It's like they're only set up. There should be a way that I can kind of wholesale order, and if I'm ordering multiples, they should stick it in one box. I shouldn't
Yes.
pay their standard shipping costs for each T-shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's the one of the biggest things that my wife and I complain about. So much so that so like these acrylic trays, the cost. We order multiples, but I was
Mhm.
trying to get it in the camera here. We order multiples, but you're paying a lot of money
On
per
shipping.
unit, and so it's made us. Even though we sell out of these as soon as we get them in, we don't want to put a gigantic price tag on it because it makes no sense. We've got it priced for $82,
Mhm.
and we're probably only making $20 on that
Yeah,
because of the shipping
that's
cost.
just wrong. Okay. Well,
So
I'll go to work on that. I'll go to work on
yeah,
that when we get this call.
that's one of those things. I saw somebody else post on our storefronts. It was a photographer who's
Mhm.
gone into a gallery, and they've given them a nonstop 40% off discount coupon so they can order product for their own gallery
Mhm.
in a kind of a wholesale manner. But for people like me, I want to be able to have that interaction with our storefronts. So it's not tricking the system, but finding a way for a vendor like me to be able to order multiples of a product and not pay. I understand an automated way why you go, okay, every time you buy a coffee mug, we're gonna put
Yeah.
$5, whatever
Yeah.
the cost
The
is.
whole system is
Makes
set up
sense.
for one-offs, right?
Yeah,
The whole system is set up. I mean, that's like sort
yeah,
of the dream of POD. You're sort of out of that realm a
yeah,
little bit, but I'll talk with Aaron and Nick. We'll figure out what this wholesale thing is because
yeah.
we really tried to get it going on with the cell phones. Have you heard my rant about cell phone cases, by the way?
I have not.
Okay, because I really need to get it on your mind, and I'm very, very curious. So I don't know if you have an iPhone or an Android, but on these things there is a screen time report. Okay, And the screen time report tells you, how much time you're using on the various different apps. But
Yeah.
it also tells you how many pickups a day you average, and the phone measures how many pickups. Now, you and I are roughly, you're close to the same age. For us, what do you think the average number of pickups is per day?
Gosh, 1,000. I don't know. It's going to be a lot.
150 a day.
Okay, I'm way off. But
The millennials below us is over 200 a day.
oh,
And so
wow.
I see that and I contemplate that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the single solitary best advertisement an artist or photographer can have in today's day and age. I'm going to the point now where I think the cell phone cases is the most important piece of merch that you can sell. Oh, you've got them already.
Yeah, that's our in-store point of purchase. So these happen to be some of my old phone cases that, because I go through them. I can't
Yeah.
show you my phone now. That's a picture when my wife and I took. So we sell those in the store. Same thing. They're not a huge moneymaker for us. I mean, if you make
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
but they're walking
I would
around
go, yeah.
going, and they're
Yes,
remembering it, and
yes,
they're showing their
yes.
people.
150
Yeah,
times a
100%.
day. I
Yeah.
don't think, I don't think that there is another piece of merch that can get that type of exposure for your art. You don't
Right.
need to make money on them. I would go as far to say, I would probably, if I was in your shop, raise the price, wholesale cost of the cell phone case on every single solitary order that you have, on every piece you have in there. And if they purchase, they leave with one, because the advertising is just too powerful. They sit down, they put the phone on the table, and everyone starts talking about it as a
Where'd you get
conversational
that?
piece. Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
200 times a day, they're reminded of the whimsical art, of John Lowry. So it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big deal. And
Keep things from being boring. I'm walking around showing.
no, and I love it. And it makes sense to me, right? Because I'm so entranced as the viewers are by the fact that you're just walking through here and showing us all the areas and how cool all of it is. You are leaving so much money on the table on your digital marketing efforts. And I can see the only way that we're going to get you there is you're going to have to hire someone that does it for you. Because
Absolutely. I mean, my gosh, we're
you need
spread
to be
too
running
thin.
live art shows in here. I need to
Yeah.
see, I pull up your socials, John, and okay, you got 3,800 followers on Instagram. Okay,
Which is terrible.
oh, these are first world problems you're struggling with
Yeah.
here because your business is doing so well. But I don't see any social proof here. Like you're in a restaurant, by Texas A&M. You're in Buc-ee's, which is got its own cult following. I want to know about that. And then, my goodness, what you've taken us through, even just sitting in here, is essentially a live art show. You could do these any point in time. Like do this for me, and I got to see if you'll still be able to hear me. But I want you to walk through the originals area just like you did the last time, because I want people to see how profoundly powerful that walking through on video can be.
Okay. Yeah. So again, we have the main part of the store. That's the original part of the building where everything in here. It's very. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I had it on my face. It's very white walls. Well, we built a gallery space back here where we put wood on all the sides and built a little room. This is our Jaclay storage room, which I can show you that again. And I'm sorry if the music's too loud.
No,
Painted the
it's
dark
good.
wall.
It's good. Just keep going.
Okay.
This is so compelling, just to the fact that you broke up the colors between the two immediately establishes for me the value proposition of it raises the level of instantaneously of what we're seeing and what you're showing. It's just a fantastic space.
It's a higher grade of product. It costs more. I share, and we do this on our website too, by the way. I write a story of every painting that I do.
Amazing.
And on our website, the Art Storefront's website, I put those stories on there as well. People love a story. Like this is a friend of mine. We had dinner with him last night. We're at the Gage Hotel. We'd been on a motorcycle trip.
Love motorcycles.
This is in Aspen, the Maroon Bells. I was there for an art show, and my wife and I went on a hike, and I used her as my model, which she hates it when I use her as a model, blowing on a dandelion that's turning in the clouds. But I tell the story, and that's what people love. I've got this thing, and this kind of explains. It says, I am obsessed with painting and the idea of bringing something creative to the world that never existed. I present my paintings humbly with the hope that someone besides my mom will love them.
Love
So
that.
that's kind of the statement of who I am as an artist. I take my craft seriously, but I don't necessarily take myself seriously. That's why it's called Humble Donkey Studio. We have gotten some press from time to time, um, and I laminated those to show people. I'm going to show you something else that's kind of a funny thing that my mom gave me this trophy when I was 10, and I
Hmm.
made this case for it. And it says number one artist, and I have a little description. I call it major award, just like at a Christmas story. And I describe that to me, there's no proof on whether that applies to the world or to the United States or just among my siblings that I am the number one artist. But it is just meant to be a cute, fun thing, of course. And the fact that I saved it, but that's another thing that people get a kick out of. I think it's so important, and we could do a better job, just like you're describing in social media, is people like that personal connection, and that's why
100%.
going to art shows is so important. Even if you don't do great directly at the show, because I've had art shows where I've had disappointing results, but it's the connection you make with people, and then becoming a follower of your emails and your social media, that eventually you're going to hit a piece that they go, oh my god, I can't live without it. I really like that guy. It makes me feel good, or whatever. But any little opportunity you have to tell a story or share something about yourself, I think is also critical.
I loved the one little door you showed me. I want to go back and I want to ask you a question about it that faces out to the courtyard
Oh yeah,
and so you're telling me there's a barbecue joint out there where
yeah,
people are ordering food and boozing, and then that door's just open and they can just take a break. They're waiting for their table, whatever, and just kind of saunter right in.
yeah. I'll take you out
Unbelievable.
now. Here's the thing: is when we started, number one, this was an addition we added. This was not here,
Hmm.
and back behind here, there was nothing here. We were here before any of this stuff existed. And
Wow.
so for a while this was going on, and we didn't have the entrance that I'm going to turn around and show you, so you can see it's
Hmm.
terrible. It's wet and yucky. But so we added this entrance and the little porch back here, and I actually put some banners which we sell of my artwork. People put them
Amazing.
on barns and things. But yeah, we decided to join the party and be part of this. There's no party today because it's rainy and yucky. Um, in fact, it was my association with Kemosabe, who's here behind us, and I've been a customer of theirs up in Aspen. But they had me do a couple of different art shows there, and a year-long show. That
Mm.
kind of exposure added credibility to me as an artist, because they go, "Yeah, that guy was in Aspen or at Kemosabe," and that's one of those opportunities. I wouldn't have had that opportunity had I not decided to open up a store
Yeah.
here in Round Top on a whim with not a plan. And that was 750 a month. We're paying probably 3,000 a month now for this space.
Can you buy? Will
And
they sell you the building, or have you not gotten into that?
well, that will never happen. The people that own this square, they
Hmm.
own the whole thing, and they would never sell just this one building. If this building was owned by one, an individual, and this was like the only building they owned,
Hmm.
that could happen. What's going to happen is when these people sell, they're going to sell the whole entire square.
Got it.
And this is one of three or four squares in Round Top. We're the biggest, and
Hmm.
I'm going to show you if I can. The cabin right there in the middle, that is the very first cabin we were in. Just this little bitty 400
Wow.
square foot, and I'm walking around here, and this is what's kind of funny. This is Friday. All these stores are supposed to be open. This is the pie shop, and that's another advantage we have. We're next to a pie shop that people come in for pie. That
Hmm.
was here before we were here. This is the front of Ellis Motel. Ellis Motel is a bar, and it's a great bar. Um, and it doesn't necessarily mean that crowd comes in. This shows you the full outside of our building.
Oh, the
You can.
banners look so good. Can you go get? Yeah, those are amazing. Where did you get those printed?
So those are printed on uh, kind of an outdoor vinyl material,
Got it.
and they hold up pretty well for about 2 to 3 years.
And then you replace.
I change them out about every 6 months here on the store.
Hmm.
Uh, They cost. I have a vendor in Houston that does them. Each one of those cost me about $120 shipped to me, and then I sell them for $400.
Oh,
And
that's super reasonable. And it's just great advertisement on the outside. It dresses the building up
oh
lovely.
yeah, when you're walking around here and you go, "What's that building?" The front porch, I did do a mural of the Lord. It's hard to be humble,
Love it.
which it really is hard to be humble. Speaking of
Yeah.
humble, this was a new design I did where it's got humble inside the donkey, and I put that on my sign out front. But selling that on the hat, everything signage makes a big difference. This may be an old dowdy barn, but I feel like how we've dressed it up, it looks like a fun place. But things like that help legitimize your art.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Just amazing. I gotta ask you because I love and by the way, I have so many like just going through this whole tour and knowing what you have available to you, blue ocean of underutilized social media marketing
Oh
tech.
gosh, yes.
You're gonna have to hire somebody. So I want you to start thinking about that immediately.
Yeah.
It has to happen. And it might as I'm thinking things through, you might even need a video guy too. And I think you'd be able to make it pay.
I'm
Those are
just
really
kind of
cool.
showing some things as we walk
Yeah.
around. These are cards that we have with my art on them.
Yeah.
It's got me on the back too. Again, it's kind of like what you were talking about. Like when people buy a card, yes, do we make money selling cards? Sure, but it's got my name and who we are, and they're going to send that out to people, and people go, "Who is that? What is that?" It all a lot of products do help further advertise you and promote you.
And customers. Let me ask you that. Like, across the board from the low end to the high end, how many individual new customer transactions are you averaging a month? So like how many new customers, i.e. email addresses, i.e. people you can market to, are you acquiring in a month? Do you know that number loosely?
I don't know it loosely. I would bet we acquire about 100 emails a month.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as our social media goes, in the last 2 or 3 months, we've added 200 or maybe 300 people. That's been pretty slow. We know there are a lot of things we could and should be doing to grow that. Part of our struggle is, and we were talking about it again this morning, is we're spread too thin. I can't
Yeah.
even keep up with painting. I used to be able to manage 20 paintings for sale in my gallery, and I'm down to 10 right now, and it's almost like you cringe when people sell them. It's more exciting to me now, honestly, when people buy Jaclays, because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting. And commissions are one of those things too that drive me crazy. I just finished a commission. I charge more for commissions. I charge $4 a square inch for those. Like I
Mhm.
might sell a 30 by 40 just in my gallery there for 3,000 or $3,200, depends on what it is,
Mhm.
$3,400. Well, I just did this commission, same size, for $4,800. So it
Wow.
makes it worth my time, but I still scan that image and
Yeah.
it'll become a Jaclay. So it'll make money after that. Um,
So what would you say is the biggest time suck? Like if you could have one thing taken off your plate in this entire operation, what would it be to give you the time back to paint?
well, I mean, painting is the biggest time suck of all.
Yeah.
It takes so much time to do it.
Lost audio on you for a sec. Hold on, John. Let me see if I can remove him out of that. John, will you move the phone around? Will you move the phone around a little bit? I lost audio. Shoot. Oh, I want to hear what he's saying. Oh, well, we lost audio. We'll see if it comes back.